Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw. I'm here at Travel Leaders Network Annual Conference, EDGE, here in Orlando. And this is the first in-person live conference in 2 years. And I'm here with Sandy and Dave Lovick, who are with Market Square Travel in Minnesota. And why are we with them? Because they just happen to be some pretty important agents with Travel Leaders Network. They've won sort of the top associate award 4 years, and actually a Golden Legacy Award. So they're some of the most successful travel leaders agents in the business, and we're going to find out how they got there and also how they've survived in the last 20 months during pandemic, and also what the future looks like for travel with them. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, Sandy, tell us a little bit about your travel agency, how you started it and how you grew it.
Well, I started back in 1984. I had been working for several years before that as a travel agent, but started in 1984 in downtown Minneapolis at the Muncie Ware factory, which was being made into a furniture market. Okay. And so we started there, small, man office, not one man office, but just
one woman office.
Yeah, well, a couple women, and we just grew from there. Dave came in.
Yeah. So, and Dave, when did you come in?
I came in 1988, right out of college, and they needed a bookkeeper. I said, sure, I'll help you out for a couple of years till I go find a real job.
You haven't found one yet. You're still here.
I'm done looking. I'm good.
No, that's a great story. Now, when did you actually join Travel Leaders or its predecessor?
1986.
So that would have been back in the Carlson.
That's Mr. Foster.
Now that dates us all. Now I remember that. I remember that deal. So Carlson bought Ask Mr. Foster. Then you became part of Carlson, and then when the independent affiliates exited, you all became Travel Leaders, right?
Exactly right.
Yes, we'd had several names in between that too, but it's been a wonderful road to go. Yeah. No regrets.
Absolutely. Now, what do you guys specialize in? Dave, what are the...
We're a large leisure agency, right, but also we do have a corporate division and a host division. So we've kind of grown over the years. And
you've got in all the places. You got to have a host these days. It's the way it is. A lot of independent contractors out there. Now, let's talk a little bit about, you won this award. Tell us about the award you just won, and I think it's the 4th time you've won it, right?
It is. And the Associate of the Year award, for us, I think it's a real pleasure to win that particular award, because it tells everybody that we really believe in the Travel Leaders program. And they have some great depth to the program. Hotels, the corporate.
Well, also Agent Profiler is the big thing, right?
Agent Profiler has been a game changer for us. And we got in early. Our team jumped in, really worked the profiles, and we are getting more leads than, we can't keep up.
Yeah, I know when they first introduced it, and they've improved it too. So that's sort of the main programs. Now, what are the main programs that really have helped you get through? What happened during the pandemic? First of all, we're talking back 20 months ago. How did you deal with that?
Well, our advisors were absolutely amazing. People don't realize that unbooking is harder than booking. Mm-hmm. And we had advisors been booking these for over a year, and all of a sudden, people are stuck in foreign countries.
You had to get everybody back. You had to get people rebooked. You had to do future tour credits for future cruise credit, everything, right?
And it was difficult, because there were times where we'd have agents in the middle of the night holding for 4 hours. Clients really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you got to somebody do it, otherwise they have to do it, and that's what you're there for, right?
But those advisors could have walked out at any time, right, and they stuck it through. We didn't lose a single advisor during that time.
How many advisors did you have back then?
50.
50? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you keep most of them, or are they coming back now?
Yes. Yeah, we brought almost everybody back.
Okay,
honest with you.
Great.
Yes.
That's great. Now what? So you got through. What were the keys to getting through this pandemic?
There's one key. Team. The team. We don't get through it without them. So them stepping up and putting in more hours than they have before, right, and trying to figure out how we're going to compensate them. They could,
the money part of it was a bit of an issue, right?
A big issue.
Especially there was no commission coming in, no cash flow. Let's fast forward to it. What were some of the things that maybe Travel Leaders helped out over the past 20 months for you?
Well, I think Travel Leaders was always supportive. They didn't disappear. They kept marketing, and I think that was the critical point of, if you continue to market, the business will continue to come. And there are a lot of people that, when they're talking about pent up desire to travel, that's not fictitious. No. That's for real. They just want to be able to talk to people. And I think we have a great many clients who appreciated what we did for them. They continued to see the marketing coming from Travel Leaders headquarters. So I think all of that, it was a whole group of things that helped.
No, that's great. And then, of course, when did you first see signs of the turnaround, the recovery for you?
Wow. I think it was, I felt it was almost immediate. I mean, we were working bookings this whole time and rebooking. Yeah. So I think it really took off towards the end of 2020. Yeah, and really moving those bookings to 2021, even 2022. So again, our team stepping up to take care of those customers. The key, like you were saying, is the cash flow during that time, right, and how we continue to get some revenue. But we had customers that were traveling, just very few.
Yeah, they were in different areas, and of course, cruise was cut off. Now, what are you seeing coming back right now? What type of travel?
It's our Mexico. It's our Mexico Caribbean, and we are killing it. We are always a big agency selling, our preferred suppliers and Funjet Vacations, Delta Vacations, and we continue to sell it. And our advisors were confident. They, Funjet and Delta Vacations backed us, and they had the same troubles we had. We didn't have people to handle all these bookings, but they continued to work with us, and it's going to get us out of where we're at, for sure.
So what's the prospects, you think? What is 22 looking for you?
Well, I think 22 looks great. We need to have enough product to sell. We need all the cruise ships back in the water.
But they're starting to get there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we have bookings. Some we're having to rebook again. That always makes it a little bit difficult. Right. But there's no doubt in my mind what Dave said about Mexico and the Caribbean. I think they were our lifesavers. For sure. They really have handled things as well as anybody could have expected. I don't know that I could believe that those Mexico resorts, they stepped up so quickly, and there are a lot of people who weren't as nervous about travel as I think.
As they think. Yeah, well, I remember going down to Mexico last fall, and there were definitely a lot of people down there. And I just got back from Mexico. Actually, you were talking Funjet. I came back from their conference, and Ascend conference, and boy, everybody's happy to be back. And everybody says, they were out, they were selling throughout the pandemic. But then we had the cruise lines coming in, and I think some of the cruise lines really stepped up, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you think one of our favorites, Royal Caribbean. Talk about stepping up. Yeah. They borrowed us money. Yes, that's called stepping up.
And they just all gave you a free cruise too, if I remember.
We did get some cruises out of the deal too. So they borrow us money, they get their ships in the water, and they give us free cruises.
It's not a bad deal, I guess. That's right.
The vendors and the cruise lines in particular, and actually all of our tour operators too, have been really supportive. And you know what? They've communicated well with us. I think almost in all cases, they've never, lost contact with us. So I think that's been huge.
I think that's what headquarters did too. They communicated with us. Roger doing the Zooms, talking about the PPP, the idle loans, what we can do, helping each other out. Doing the same thing with our team. Yep, we might have shortfalled on some of that and not communicated as much as we should have, but we try to make it consistent and let our team, what's the game plan? What was tough about is we didn't know what the game plan was.
Well, nobody did. And gradually it sort of became apparent what we should do with the PPP loans, the different things. And then, of course, now we're finally starting to get a lot of bookings. So Dave, anything else you want to tell your fellow travel leaders, agents, and advisors in general about your experience?
It's just wonderful to see y'all. We finally get to meet in person. It's been a great conference. I appreciate it.
And Sandy?
Well, I just think it's so nice, the camaraderie. And, we're all in the same business, but it's not, the competition isn't there, when you're together. The sharing is pretty amazing.
It is, and I've seen a lot of that here. Well, first of all, congratulations on another Associate of the Year award. And I guess we'll be talking to you next year. You got to step up to the plate, get it the fourth time. And congratulations on getting through this 20 months. I mean, all of us had to deal with this. We had to deal with it. And it's great to see you're now surviving, and eventually will thrive again, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're starting right now.
We're good to go. Absolutely.
There you go. We're good to go. And I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.